I'll never forget the time when I had to make my first child abuse hotline phone call. There was a girl in our church who was being beaten by her father with a cane because she didn't make straight A's. When I made that phone call, the sign outside my office window started to get blurry because the tears just started flooding down my eyes. I just didn't know what we would do as the church to help this girl. I felt like I was taking this precious girl and handing her off to the government. When I started to think about this girl and all of the children really in the foster care system in the US, it was just this huge question mark that was in my heart and my head. I read that there were 400,000 children in US foster care. It was like an immovable mountain. It was as if it was unsolvable. And then when I studied and prayed and asked questions, I started to realize there's 350,000 churches. This is problem solvable. If every church got one family to help one child, we could all but empty out the foster care system in the U.S. Our team at Backyard Orphans sees a day where there are more families waiting for children than there are children waiting for families. Psalm 68, 5 and 6 tells us that God is a father to the fatherless, He's a defender of widows, and He puts the lonely in families. But in order to do that, our team needs to be ready to train church leaders to develop a foster care, adoption, and a support ministry right inside their own church.
It was about 3.5 years ago that we were just really excited about wanting to do something that would make a difference in our community. So we started talking to different mayors and in our county and city council people and agencies. And as we began to survey them, they all were saying, man, the biggest thing that's going on in our community is we have all these kids who are in care and foster care, and they don't have homes and they don't have families. And government doesn't do that great at being parents. They need parents. And I'm going like, well, how much money does it take? And how do you do the training? And how do you even get the connection? And how do you do all this? I don't even know how to deal with CPS and all of that. Not knowing what to do, and then God sent us Backyard Orphans. Backyard Orphans came in and they said, hey, we can help you do the training. We can help you get connected to all the agencies. We can help you on the financing. We can help you on all the paperwork. We can help you on every bit of it and organize even the church, not only for people who want to have kids come in their home, but for the people who could do babysitting for them, for respite care. We can set it up in the church where people can do food if they want to do that and help families with that. They came in and trained our staff, came in and helped me as a pastor to know how to talk about it, how to organize it, how to put it together. Do you know that in the last 2 years since they've come in to help us, we've had 133 kids who are in foster care come into homes in our church. And we've had 20 of those kids get adopted in families in our church. It's amazing what can happen if your heart has the know-how. And that's what Backyard Orphans does.
Estuvimos en un servicio cuando escuchamos la necesidad a través de un sermón de nuestro liderazgo sobre la necesidad de ayudar a los huérfanos. Miré a mi esposa y le dije a mi esposa, tenemos que hacer algo. Sentí la compasión de hacer algo. So personally, I would ask myself, how can this be possible in our church? And we talked to Eric Porter, and he brought his team, he brought his organization, and all of the pastoral team. They took the training, and they love the heart behind the whole mission. You can start up on an idea, but if the leadership is not in alignment with the mission, it's not going to fall through. And so for me, it was key. It was important for the team to be a part of this. And I believe God gives you God-given dreams, God-given assignments that need that structure, that need that direction. And Backyard Orphans, they had the connection. They had the guy that we need to implement that ministry in our church. We've seen a great move of God in their lives as well within the families in the church. And me personally, seeing the heart and the enthusiasm and the energy within the staff and getting this accomplished, it's a dream come true.
Really, the church was, is, and will always be the solution to the world's greatest problems. One of the greatest problems with 140 million orphans in the world is the orphan crisis. The conversation isn't that some churches do it all. It's that all churches do something. Every church has hurting children in their own backyard. They just need someone to guide them through it. We at Backyard Orphans believe that if all 350,000 churches do something, that we could take care of the 400,000 children in U.S. foster care, and we could see a day where there are more families waiting for children than children waiting for families.